I worked my entire life for my daughter, investing every penny, every hour of lost sleep, every silent sacrifice that only a father truly understands. And then, on a day that was supposed to be a celebration Father's Day, I realized that all my efforts seemed to mean nothing. A cheap keychain in my hands and an expensive watch on my son-in-law's wrist, that was the moment reality hit me like a punch. This story may sound extreme, but sadly it's far from uncommon. How many fathers live in the silent pain of ingratitude, emotional neglect, and being undervalued? It's a wake-up call for all of us while there's still time. We need to cherish those who have truly stood by our side before it's too late. If you've ever felt unappreciated, betrayed, or ignored despite your love and sacrifice, this story will strike a chord with you. Get ready to reflect on gratitude, life's choices, and how small gestures can completely change the way we are seen by those around us. Because in the end, the lesson is clear: value people while there's still time. My name is Alyson. I'm just an ordinary man, one of those life has shaped with callous hands and scars on the heart. I grew up learning that the true worth of a person isn't in what they own, but in what they're willing to give to their family. Being a father was the greatest gift of my life, but also my greatest school of sacrifice and learning. I always believe that, in the end, it's not fancy words that prove a father's love, it's the silent gestures of unconditional support. In that silence, many of us carry pains no one else sees: ingratitude, being undervalued, and sometimes even emotional abandonment. But it's also in that silence that we learn the life lessons that change the way we see the world. And it's strange how life forces us to reflect on who's really by our side. It's not always the one smiling in pictures or making emotional speeches at family gatherings. More often, the truth shows up in small details: a simple gift, a forgotten credit card, an expensive watch given to someone else. And it was in this mix of recognition and disappointment that my story began. I was born into a humble family, where luxury was something from TV shows, and the real treasure was hard work. I never had a present father to teach me the way, so I promised myself that if I ever had a daughter, I would do everything differently. When Mariana was born, I felt the weight and greatness of that promise to be the father I never had. I learned early that raising a child is much more than putting food on the table. It's being there, listening to their fears, celebrating small victories, and carrying on your shoulders the sacrifices life demands. Every extra hour of work, every sleepless night, was driven by that father's love, the kind that will stop at nothing to see his daughter smile. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. A simple man's life offers no shortcuts, only obstacles. But I stayed strong, because every choice I made carried the certainty that Mariana deserved the best. After all, when the heart is fueled by love and sacrifice, no obstacle can stop a determined father. I worked hard, like so many anonymous fathers who wake before the sun rises, and only return when the city's lights are fading, all so that Mariana could have what I never did. It wasn't just about money, it was about unconditional support, those gestures that go beyond what's necessary and become living proof of a father's love. I'll never forget the day I managed to give her first car. To some, it might seem like just material possession, but to me, it was the realization of a dream, seeing my daughter drive safely, with the freedom I always wanted her to have. Later, when the wedding came, there were more sacrifices: party, dress. Every detail costed more than I could really afford, but I faced it all as a heartfelt gift. And it didn't stop there. I even helped with the down payment on her apartment, giving up personal plans, because I believed supporting her at that moment was an investment in her future. Whenever money ran short, it was me she called, and I never failed her. My wallet had become the family's invisible credit card, always ready for any emergency. But over time, I realized each sacrifice seemed to disappear into silence. Rarely did I hear a genuine thank you, Dad, one filled with true gratitude. What hurt wasn't the money, it was the feeling of being undervalued, as if all my effort was just obligation and not an expression of love. That lack of recognition grew into a heavy burden. The hardest part was noticing how the bond between father and daughter grew cold, not because of lack of love, but because of ingratitude disguised as normalcy. Each time I gave support, I hoped for at least a look of appreciation, but all I got was an uncomfortable silence. It's in that silent pain where disappointment lies now exploding, but eating away at you little by little. I won't lie, I even wondered if maybe I was expecting too much. But the truth is, no one can survive giving endlessly without receiving at least a little recognition in return. That kind of broken trust doesn't happen all at one seat piles up, like unpaid bills until finally reality hits. Father's Day came, and I confess I only expected a small gesture of love. After so many years of sacrifice and unconditional support, the least a father hopes for is sincere recognition. But when Mariana handed me a cheap keychain, I felt my chest tighten. It wasn't about the price, it was the unspoken message, as if all my fatherly love could be summed up in something meaningless. What really cut deep was finding out soon after that my son-in-law had been given an expensive watch. And worse still, it had been bought with my own credit card. It felt like an invisible punch, one nobody else could see, but that left deep marks on my heart. It was as if my sacrifice had been twisted to benefit someone who barely knew our family's history. In that moment, I had a harsh wake-up call. I realized it wasn't about the gift itself, but about the ingratitude it symbolized. The unreturned love hurt more than any emotional abandonment, and that was when I decided things had to change, not out of revenge, but because I learned that even a father's love needs limits, so it isn't mistaken for obligation. After that Father's Day shock, I had to reflect on my boundaries. Unconditional support is value, but when it goes unrecognized, the silent pain grows louder. I decided to cancel the deposits and close the credit lines not as punishment, but as a way to demand respect and to show that sacrifice without gratitude cannot last forever. It wasn't an easy decision. For years, every penny I gave Mariana was also a lesson in life, a way of showing her what really matters. But there came a point when I had to put my own emotional and financial stability first. The disappointment was heavy, but it was necessary to wake my daughter up to life's reality. From that change, I learned that a father's love remains, but trust and complete devotion can be broken when there's no appreciation. It's a painful wake-up call, but it teaches us powerful lessons about gratitude, boundaries, and the importance of valuing others while there's still time. With the change, Mariana faced financial struggles she had never known before. It was a painful awakening realizing that a father's support isn't endless when gratitude and recognition are missing. The shock was real, but also brought important lessons about responsibility and life choices. She came to me for help like so many times before. My answer was simple: ask your father-in-law. And as I later learned, he didn't help her. She had to face the harsh reality of adulthood on her own. Her silent pain was visible, but I knew it was a necessary lesson, one that would finally make her value what she had received all those years. Watching her life fall apart was painful, but also proved to me that sacrifice without recognition is not sustainable. That experience reinforced lessons about gratitude, about the importance of acknowledging someone's effort, and how undervaluing love can destroy even the strongest bonds. Today, I carry on, but I'm no longer the same. My love for Mariana remains untouched, but my trust and complete devotion were broken. I've learned that a father's sacrifice only has meaning when it's met with gratitude and recognition. Without that, it becomes silent pain and disappointment. This experience made me reflect on the true value of those by our side. It's not always about grand gestures, it's about the consistency of support and being present in the difficult moments. I now know that we must cherish people while we still can, because life's choices can forever change relationships. The lessons I carry are tough, but necessary. I've learned that unreturned love hurts, that ingratitude wounds deeper than financial hardship, and that family must be recognized and valued every single day. These are reflections I share in hopes that other fathers and children won't have to face the same painful wake-up call. Have you ever stopped to think whether you truly value the ones who've always been by your side? Too often, we only realize the worth of a father, a mother, or someone who gave us unconditional support when it's already too late. The reflection is simple but powerful, recognizing effort and sacrifice is a gesture that transforms relationships and heals silent pain. Sharing stories like mine helps shed light on the reality many families endure in silence. A father's love, sacrifice, constant support, and hard choices deserve acknowledgement not just on Father's Day, but every day. Small gestures of gratitude can prevent heartbreak and disappointment. If this story touched you, Take a moment to reflect on your own relationships. Encourage gratitude while there's still time. Make room for dialogue and appreciation, and share experiences that can inspire others. After all, family is where life's greatest lessons are learned, and true love deserves to be celebrated every day.